Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loreweek. I am ever, and as always, your host, Lore Runner. Before we even go any further, it's time to stand up for what we believe in, which is adding stuff to the set here. Thanks, mate. So we have a small stack of games here to add to the set, because, well, we didn't have a Loreweek last week because my voice wasn't there because of the aforementioned sickness, so we kind of couldn't do it. So hang on, this is, rather than being stupid, let's do this sequentially. So hang on, so we've got Mario 3D All-Stars, which I just realized I can't actually put up now. Alright, whatever. Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. We'll put those down here with the 3DS. Yeah. Go. Force Unleashed, Wii version. We don't have any Wii games yet. So, well, I guess we'll lump these in with GameCube. Why not, right? Then we've got NES. I know we have another NES in here somewhere. Somewhere. Way at the bottom. We do not have another NES. Where's my other NES? Where's my other NES game? Oh, that's weird. Well, whatever. NES. One NES game. Oh, also another copy of Mario Brothers 3, so we got two of those there. Shut up! We'll put that with the GBA. NES goes up here. Mega Man's. Oh, looks like we already put it up. It's right there. And we got some N64 games, some of our first ones. Mario 64, Ocarina, and Majora again. These. We've almost got a couple of cubbies full. Holy crap. A couple of SNES games, Mario World and Mario World, which goes here. And then a couple of GameCube games. Sunshine, which was nowhere near as good as I was hoping. And Ocarina for the third freaking time, because I own 3 copies of that stupid game. Okay. There we go. So I thought, rather than be boring and play Metroid, I'd get some roulettes done. Look, for some reason, everyone needs a tank. It's so strange. Well, whatever. Let's go ahead and do, let's do leveling. That's a good idea. Well, no. I don't know. Does anybody want an insta-queue? Some of you may have noticed the review page has changed a little bit. I'm trying to think where to begin with that. Earlier this year, right after we finished the review of Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York, we were staring at it like, that doesn't track. Like, the score for that game was actively wrong. And it was like, how do we fix this? Well, the making do solution we did at the time was we spent about a week or so. I spent about a week or so auditing every single review I'd ever done. And adding that to the audit spreadsheet, which we now have. Now, I'd like to say that, is totally wasted time. Apparently nobody wants an insta-queue, so we're just going to go ahead and go. I don't want to say it was a complete waste of time, but it did still kind of hurt to look at that and still say that that was insufficient. Because one of the things we did recently was we audited 3 separate runs. Mega Man 7, Mega Man 11, and Ocarina of Time. I know what you're thinking, but Ocarina of Time wasn't a full audit run. It was, in every way that matters. Ah, really? Really? Whatever. So, I've been staring at this problem for a long time. Hey, look, a sage. I'm gonna die. And I finally decided the only really reasonable thing to do is to just ignore it and walk away from it and not care about it, right? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. No, that wasn't working out. There was no solution there. So, wait, do we have the... Okay, still checking. That wasn't a feasible solution. And the problem is, the whole point of the golden number system is to be the final number, the final review for any given game that has that number. But if that number is inaccurate, if that number doesn't fit, then we've got a problem. And if this doesn't make any sense, allow me to simply put this like this. Imagine if you had a list of games, and some of them you were measuring by inches, and some of them you were measuring by centimeters. And let's say that you then said, well, this game has 15 centimeters, and that game has 13 inches. Therefore, the 15 centimeters game is superior. You see the problem? Inherent? Who here is actually level 19? Why are we in a level 19 dungeon? All these people have to be at least level 30. Anyways. And that just wasn't working. It wasn't a sufficient way in order to keep track of the score. So, this has been something I've been debating for quite a long time, but eventually I looked at that like, yeah, no, that's just reality. I need to change that. And by change, I mean pull the band-aid off. So all of the reviews prior to Oblivion, which is what we've been calling the audit line, every review prior to Oblivion has been axed. Doesn't actually exist anymore, and is no longer valid. Now don't worry, I haven't erased them. You know me, I literally have an archive page specifically for this type of thing. So the archive page is where all that stuff is being stored for its own sake. And if anybody wants to compare those games to each other, because they're all centimeters after all, then that's still valid. But none of those are valid, now. So yeah, every game that is not on the review page is up for funding. That's honestly always been the rule. It's just a little bit more overt now. In some cases, I looked at those old reviews like, yeah, no, whatever. But let me tell you, as I was going down the list, because I was doing this manually just to make sure I didn't screw anything up, no, Valvedrix. There is no guarantee whatsoever. So I was going down through manually, and I realized some of those were painful, is what I'm trying to say. Some of those were just very painful to take down. And I'm like, oh god, I don't want to replay Persona 5. I don't want to go back through, Red Dead Redemption 2, etc., etc. But there was one review in particular which I looked at, and I was like, oh. And that's Anthem. Because Anthem was before. We can't do an audit run of Anthem. Sorry, French philosopher, timing. I'm talking about Anthem, not you. I hope the surgery goes very well, by the way. Well wishes. So yeah. Anthem isn't really feasible for a re-review, because we can't go and do it again. And, well, I don't mind being called the Dictator, Emperor Valerian, because I've never minded being called that. I've been called that for most of my life. LOL is my answer to you there. Anthem is no longer accessible. Now, what we could do, just literally just for the sake of posterity, what I might do, just because it's such a unique case, is I might go through and rewatch the VOD of Anthem. Now, that's not quite the same as replaying it. And that would involve me having to slowly make my way back through the VOD. But I could effectively review the VOD, Pay attention to my tone, pay attention to the quests, pay attention to the gameplay, pay attention to the constant crashes, and effectively just do a audit run of the VOD. Which I would only be willing to do in Anthem's case, because on the one hand, I literally can't play it anymore. And on the other hand, it's Anthem. Let's go ahead and put it at the bottom where it freaking belongs. To my knowledge, no, Blue F. Alex. To my knowledge, the servers have been pulled. That's the issue. Now, there's probably some way to brute force or jury rig that, but honestly, at this point, even if you funded Anthem, I'd probably say no. Even if you're like, hey, It's totally playable. That's nice. No. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, and again, just for Anthem, just because that game is so crap, and its badness needs to be enumerated and historically recorded. You know? But anyways. For those of you curious, in case I didn't make this clear, I do have an archive page. I mention this because a lot of people don't seem to notice it. I've heard several people talk about, hey, you know, where'd this thing go? I can't find it anymore. It's because it's on the archive page. Archive for the win. The archive is there and purposeful for its own purpose, and is where you can find all those old reviews, as well as the old ones that have actually received full audits and, you know, since been replaced. Going forwards, I'm not really going to change the structure. You know, you can still go to the review page. Those review pages will still link to the Premiere and Classic pages, where the actual reviews are, yada, yada, yada. You know what? I agree with that. I will charge $43 million for an audit run of Anthem, actually playing it. But yeah, Shadowbringers. So Shadowbringers is kind of an asterisk, and that's part of the reason I was mentioning this. Oh, by the way, there are a couple of asterisks to this. I should mention that. So, for example, Pokemon Shield technically fell before, but we've actually already done an audit run of Pokemon Shield, if you'll remember. We did that when we played through the DLC. It was actually, I don't think I said this at the time, but it was actually our very first audit run, and it was being done very specifically for such a purpose. I always sort of assumed Fire Emblem Three Houses would also get an audit run of a similar manner, in order to... Nope, let me do this first. In order to allow us to fill out that run. The problem is that leaves an entire route which we haven't done, and I'm still debating what exactly I'm going to do about that. So, still debating on that one. Fire Emblem Three Houses is a nice long game that's nowhere near funded, so that's whatever. Well, let me ask you something, Juludo. Is The Witcher 3 on the current review page? So yeah, that's asterisk 1 is Anthem. I've already kind of, you know, talked that out. I've already kind of set my ideas for that. Asterisk number 2 was Pokemon Shield, which is currently an up-to-date. There were some weird asterisks there, but I've already made my mind up on several of those. But, so Fire Emblem Three Houses is another asterisk, and the big asterisk is the game I'm playing right now, Shadowbringers. Now, for those of you not aware, I've been spending a lot of my spare time what I call mindlessly leveling, which is doing the very boring task of leveling in this game, because leveling is too slow in this game, and trying to get everything up to the level where it'll be ready for the FF14 block, because we're just going to do the FF14 block as a block. The catch there is what we do with Shadowbringers. Would you stop donating? God damn it. I saw an earlier donation. I just want to get all my thoughts out before I start acknowledging those. Oh, as a reminder, today is the 5th, for those of you who remember, and today is the 5th for those of you who don't. If you are a donator on Patreon specifically, you can there's a post on Patreon which you could put your money towards something, and I've started reminding people of things like that, because, you know, duh, I suppose. I don't have a better way to phrase that. So I've gotten complaints from several people, not complaints. I've gotten comments from several people who don't seem to realize that the 5th post, Patreon 5th post, oh my god, is a thing. It went live this morning, as it usually does. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so yeah, so Fire Emblem Three Houses, the most likely thing I'm going to do, Blue Elf Alex, is exactly what you say. Just go ahead and eject the whole thing. And if we ever do an audit run of the game, we'll just do an audit run of the game, right? It'll just be like any other audit run. I'm just going to take it in the face! Oh, yeah. Yeah, eat it! Like a good tank should. Wait, what? That's not what good tanks should do? I am amused that this sage apparently doesn't know where their Asuna button is. That's actually kind of funny. Then again, most healers don't seem to know where their Asuna button it is. Anyways, so that's probably what we'll do with Fire Emblem Three Houses. So Shadowbringers is the big question mark. And I will give that to, let's give it to the Dragoon. I usually give it to non-healers and non-tanks as a policy. Unless they do a particularly good job. Man, I don't want Lobo. Lobo's a jackass. A favorite class in 14? No. I mean, yes, but no. You can't see, of course, but these 3 job icons over here are my favorite classes. Gunbreaker, Astrologian, Dancer. Although, Dragoon has been slowly worming its way into my heart. I actually really enjoy Dragoon. I didn't enjoy it until I got to, honestly, level 80, but once I got to 80, yeah, no, it's a nice class. I have tried out Reaper. In fact, I've already got my Reaper bar set up and ready to go. So we do this, then we do this, then we do this, and we do this a couple more times because we've got to get some Reaper stuff going. It looks very cool. I do love looking cool. As I've said many times, coolness is a factor when it comes to these kind of games. There's our single target, and then we do this single target, and then we build up again. And one more loop should do it. So then we're going to do this, and then the single target again, and then we're going to do the other one. And that's pretty much our full single target loop right there. There's also an AoE loop, which was actually the thing that gave me the most problem, because we have a ton of AoEs as a Reaper. We got that. We got that. Is this it? Yep, we got this one. We got this one. And we got this one. All of those are AoEs. It's like playing Dancer all over again. I do love Dancer, but Dancer also has lots and lots of AoEs. Anyways. Reset Enmity. Reset Enmity. But yes, Reaper is one of the new classes. The other new class, which I haven't done anything with yet, is Sage. Hello. There we go. Haven't set up any of the Sage stuff yet. Except, of course, to pull out my lasers. Alright, now let's say thank you to a few people. Because we still need to decide what we're doing with Shadowbringers. This is an actual conversation we're going to have. So first... thank you very much, F. and Craig. I'll put that towards Von Falkenstein's choice. Damn it. Stop giving me money! Is that Thea 1 or 2? Because that's important. Okay, it's 1. Thank you. Because that's how I keep track of it on my end. You want me to split $15 between... Oh, there we go. Never mind. I'm blind. Heck's just 4 minutes. I thought you were splitting between 4 games. I'm like, what the heck? I agree, Linear. As I've said for many years now, I wish FF14 would steal more ideas from WoW, and I wish WoW would steal more ideas from FF14. Both do several things well that the other does not do, you know? So that's 4. Thank you very, very much, Shadow Machine. I'm putting that towards Ruby Arrowfell, Saints Row 4, and Breath of the Wild 2. Much appreciate. Hang on, let's put away our lasers there. Don't want to scare anyone with our lasers. Yeah, I have the default bar, so I haven't done anything with this bar. You can tell because I don't have a mount on my bar. No, A. Williams. That would get me copy-wronged into oblivion. What you're currently listening to is actually a remix of a Morrowind song. I don't remember which one. Oh, you're welcome, Hazardous. Sorry, I don't know how I missed that message. I wasn't ignoring you, I swear. I just completely skipped over that message somehow, because I'm an idiot. So Valerian is like, hey, thank you very, very much. I do ever and always appreciate. Much obliged. Thank you. I will put that towards doing an audit run of Anthem on private servers. And thank you, Imperial Star Destroyer, very much. I do always appreciate the support very much. Thank you. I mean, he's ridiculous, Actaf, and he's not a character. Was literally created to be a joke. And then people didn't realize he was a joke. Alright, so hang on. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things here. What the hell is that divided by 5? Hang on. Okay. Honestly, Anthem would be worse. Fallout 76 has been slowly getting better, and is still live. Anthem never got better, and isn't. Because, yeah. That's going towards Legend of Gaia, Mega Man Legends 1, Mega Man Legends 2, Misadventures of Trombone, and Avatar Last Airbender, Discrimination. You cannot, Mr. Red, but what you can do is join the discussion. So I'm caught up on donations. Let's get another run going. I'm not just playing FF14 to play it, by the way. I have to level every class to 80 for the FF14 block. And leveling is slow and sloggy, so I'm just kind of slowly doing that. I already did MS... Oh, I didn't... Apparently I did MSQ this morning before the reset, so we're just going to do MSQ again. But... Anyways. What do we do about Shadowbringers? Yeah, the FFs were before the line. Almost everything before the lines. On Bond, sorry. Almost everything before Oblivion was axed. Again, I went through manually because we had some asterisks there, but... So Shadowbringers is the big asterisk. I actually glanced at the Sith Warrior run, and I'm pretty sure that one's okay, so I don't think we're going to axe that one. We're not doing Sith Warrior again. Oh, we got the bad one. And yeah, the FFs have the pixel remasters, so that's probably going to do that anyways. But yeah, anything that is over about 1.5 years old at this point. And as Valvedrix said, no, I don't have any guarantee that we're not going to change our review system in the next thing. So yes, Linearith. You remember Legion, Linearith? Because that's the easiest way to explain it. Put on Take Stance. Because imagine trying to go through Legion and showing off all of the class Order Hall arcs, and, well, you don't have all the classes leveled, so you kind of can't, right? Alright. Come here. Yeah, Shadowbringers. So, Valvedrix brought up a valid point. What is this guy doing? Well, hang on. I'm going to do my job here. Apparently no one else is. Valvedrix brings up an interesting point. I sincerely doubt my opinion on Shadowbringers is really going to change. But the truth is, I would think that about Mega Man as well. The thing is, so let's be clear about this for a moment. Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 11 scores did go up. Ocarina's score went down. If you don't understand what I mean by that, the whole point is that sometimes we give more negatives, sometimes we give more positives, but the overall nuance of the score has changed. Right? And that's really the key point there, is that the actual final result is different. Like I said, inches to centimeters. And I know that's not a great example, because inches can be converted to centimeters. So I guess actually inches to gallons might be a better system, right? That might be a better analogy. We reviewed the previous games as gallons, and now we're doing it as inches, and we can't just convert. So nuance changes. This is one of the reasons I finally went ahead and pulled the plug. Ocarina was the final straw on that one. I've seen signs of this before, but that was the final point where it's like, yeah, no, I need to go ahead and just commit to that. So it's entirely possible my opinion of Shadowbringers would change. The problem is Shadowbringers is absolutely gargantuan. Now, some of the content I more or less literally can't redo because it's not in the New Game Plus. Excuse me. But a decent amount of it is. And, of course, we have all the extra stuff, like the chain, which I'm still currently doing. It's the only quest I have right now. We also have... I can't remember everything. There's a lot of content I've actually been deliberately not doing which has been making leveling a little bit more irritating than it should be. Like, I don't have access to Zadnor right now, for example. I also don't have access to some of the Heavensward stuff with the place I can't think of the name of, where you go craft. So, because I haven't done those quests yet, I've deliberately been sitting on them. Most of my jobs are missing abilities. Yes, I know I could do those classes. I could do those quests. I'm not going to. And yeah, the firmament was what I was talking about. See, part of the problem here, something I've been studying a lot lately, especially as I myself have been drifting more and more into a producer role, is that one of those decisions you need to make as a manager is you need to decide where you spend your time, right? Time is the ultimate currency, as I've said many, many times. Honestly, if it was not for time, I would, without hesitation, go ahead and just add Shadowbringers back to the list, because it was well before the line. The catch there, the caveat we're running into, is that time, it's a huge chunk of time, right? Again, I use Ocarina of Time as the example there, because in my mind, there's absolutely no question that Ocarina of Time needed the audit run. The only question is whether I did it on camera or off. You guys voted for me to do it off camera, so I did it off camera. I suppose one thing should be taken into account here. Hang on. Let me look something up here really quick. And yes, Valerian would have to fund it before the FF14 block. Pony up, please don't. Please don't. I am joking. But let me look something up real quick. Give me a moment. Aren't these cutscenes amazing? Don't you love watching these for the 700th time? So here's the thing. Shadowbringers is an asterisk. It's not just pre-content. In fact, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I can't believe I'm even debating this, because I'm stupid. So, we went through Shadowbringers in September of 2019. But we went through all the patch stuff in December of 2020. If you're paying attention, that is after the Oblivion line. So, the patch content is within acceptable parameters. The only thing that isn't is the MSQ. So, I'm an idiot. I can't believe I'm even asking this question. I should have looked that up before I started, but, you know, I was busy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have Ciela gift subs, because Ciela hates me. And then we're going to go ahead and re-add just the MSQ up to, I guess that'd be 5.0, or 6.0, or whatever that is. Up to the rerun. Because if you're paying attention, which I don't blame you if you're not, we already haven't been doing the Shadowbringers patch content. It's one of the reasons I can't access Zadnor. They hate me, Bull of Alex. Alright, and Imperial Star Destroyer is apparently putting it towards Legend of Legaia. I don't know what Trihex he's putting it towards. I'll look in just a second. I don't want to lose this train. Although apparently the other tank is just doing whatever at this point. Good morning, Sean. Do you mind? Okay, you know what? Come here. Yes, Tor is a better game than this game in every way, because Tor actually has skippable cutscenes on the MSQ. What did I do during the patch content? Because I know we did the lead up, and we did cover that, we did review that. Where's the... Listen, love and hate are just two sides of the same coin, or some cliched line like that. Alright, so I know we did the lead-up stuff. I think we stopped the moment we were going back to the first, if I'm not mistaken. When we did the re-content, when we did the rerun last year. And then we jumped ahead, and I know we did Eden. Because that was awesome. Except for that one fight, which can go to hell. I know we did some of the weapons. And I know we did up to the fight at the top of the tower, which I'm saying very vaguely on purpose. So I know we did all that stuff, and I know we covered all that stuff to my satisfaction, you know, post-Oblivion line, or however you want to think of that. Well, good news, Imperial Star Destroyer. This is one of the most group-unfriendly MMOs I've ever played. It's actually one of my biggest complaints about the game. But you're in a group right now. Yeah, for dungeons. That's kind of it. Yeah, I'd have to do the healer roll, because you're right, we did the other rolls on camera, too. The healer roll wasn't super fancy by memory, but you're right, we should redo it. So yeah, we'd have to redo the healer roll 5.0, and, did we not do the first tier of Eden? Yeah, Tor, by contrast, is extremely group-friendly. More so than most MMOs. Tor and STO are actually probably the two most group-friendly MMOs out there for me. No, that's wrong. Guild Wars 2 is up there as well. Ah, gotcha. Alright, so we'd have to do first tier of Eden, which isn't the end of the world. No, don't do it, Jesse's Mask. Don't do it. And then we'd have to do 5.0. Yeah, let's just do that. So we're going to have to add in 5.0. Effectively, it's just 5.0. It's vanilla Shadowbringers to the list. Most solo hostile game in existence is Final Fantasy XI. Now, earlier Ciela donated. Thank you, Ciela. Always. Very much appreciate, as ever. Thank you. Somebody can pick up the key. Okay. And looks like that's going towards stuff, which I need to write down. Math. That's going towards Legend of Legaia. And that's going towards Killzone. There we go. See if I have aggro right now. I do not, apparently. That's okay. Yeah, no kidding. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go on this training wheel. I'm gonna get on this bicycle. It's my first time on a bike, so be careful with me. And they literally rip the wheels off of you as you're trying to ride. That's FF11 when it came out. It is better now, to be in the interest of fairness. But God, at launch, that was just the worst. Thank God Ashlam's in here. Okay, so yes, Drakengard was post-line, so we can't redo Drakengard. Sorry. I know you're all very devastated by that. Where's my stun? It's not at my bar. There it is. Oops. Well, I already did Quinn Beast. Legitimately, I feel like pointing out. So screw all y'all on that one. Any good games I'm pleased to have an excuse to replay? Actually, yes. Mario Odyssey is absolutely a game I'm looking forward to replaying. Mario Galaxy 1, Mario Galaxy 2, all the FFs. I forget what else. I believe Nier Automata was after. I'm almost positive it was. I can double check if you give me a minute. Super Metroid, although we were already redoing that one. That's already been baked in. Here. Yeah, no, Nier Automata was after. I thought so. That was this year. But if I just go over here to the archives page, I can tell you all the runs that got axed. So let's see here. Runs that I would like to replay. Excuse me. Yakuza 0 would be nice to do a replay of. I'm not sure about Celeste. I've actually beaten that game twice now. And I've 100%ed it. Excuse me, 98%ed it. Looking down the list. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, Subnautica, both of which I'd like to redo. 20XDX is on the list. Dragon Quest XI, Marvel's Spider-Man. Where the hell are you, Sid? Oh my god. Octopath, I'd probably veto outright. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was already something people were considering about funding for a rerun, because the game has changed substantially since launch. Resident Evil 2 Remake, I'd love to replay that. Devil May Cry 5, we were already kind of going to do an audit run of. It's just a little bit more codified now. In fact, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to bake all of the money that was put towards the Bloody Palace run into a Devil May Cry 5 audit run and just do the Bloody Palace as part of that, which is what we do nowadays. Excuse me. Frostpunk would be fun to go back through. Oh, I need to actually unarchive the Vermintide run. That's actually an up-to-date run. So, you're probably thinking, but wait, Vermintide was done way before the line. Well, so... Vermintide was one of our 4-player games for a while there, me and my friends. So we actually beat the game, like we did everything. And because it's me, and because I realized how old the Vermintide 2 run is, I actually was keeping track and taking notes as I went. So actually, I need to, I forgot to pull that one. I need to pull that one out because the Vermintide run is actually up to date, because that was this year when we were doing that. Looking down the list. Where's the healer? There you are. Vermintide is best tide. Yes. Or, I mean, hi. Vermintide 2 is very fun, by the way, especially if you have friends to play with. If you don't have friends to play with, I don't recommend it. But if you do, I recommend it. What else we got here? Obviously, there's Fire Emblem Three Houses. I kind of already mentioned that one. Dragon Quest Builders 2, I would not mind replaying, because I've beaten that game twice and enjoyed it both times. What? Paper Mario 2, Super Paper Mario, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker, which are both being baked into the Zelda block, by the way. What else we got here? There's the FFs. We're getting much more. Jedi Fallen Order, I wouldn't mind a replay of. Warcraft 3 would be an interesting replay. Not sure what I think of that, but that's what it is. Grand Theft Auto 5, unfortunately, is a game that needs a replay. Just 5. The rest can wait. Don't care about the West. Link's Awakening kind of needs a replay. That's also being baked into the Zelda block, by the way. Luigi's Mansion 3, which is a shame because that game was awesome, but that one is also part of that category. Dragon Age is a sucky one because that's a long frickin' game, so I'm kind of okay with not replaying that one, because holy crap. Although if we do replay Dragon Age, because we already did our due diligence before, we don't have to cheat to fix our build halfway through, so we'll just be able to play through the way we know we do and give the negative that we were already going to give anyways. Because we've already done the research on that, so that's not changing, right? I wouldn't mind playing Soten again, that game's awesome. Did it with Ghost of Tsushima, Trials of Mana Remake maybe. There's the Arkham games, and then there's the Mario Galaxies, and that's actually it. That's the whole list. Sorry, Von Falkenstein, sorry. I don't actually have a lot to cover right now. Believe it or not. I mostly just wanted to discuss this stuff with you guys, because that's how we're doing it. So, let's go and move on to random news, shall we? I said Super Mario Odyssey already. It was actually one of the first games we reviewed under the pluses and minuses keeping track of system. It was like the 5th game we reviewed. Dwarf Mage is awesome, but, you know. Time, blow off Alex. I'll probably be a lot less opposed to it by estimates, about 2 months. Because, so, okay, let's go ahead and share something else here. I don't know if I was going to talk about this, but one of the things I do is I keep track of how much runs happen versus how much runs are funded, right? It's a fairly standard thing to keep track of, because the whole idea is I want to... the idea is for runs to be funded at roughly the same rate as which runs are run, right? That's always been the goal. And so a lot of my finagling with prices and cost for priority and all that has all been geared around that equation. Make sense? Let me make sure I have nice aggro. There we go. So I was doing pretty well there for a while there, and I was on track to do a couple of things, and then I took 4 months off to work on other projects. That's on me. No, that's how that works. That's on me. But as a result, we went from being roughly 201 hours ahead, as in that's how many hours we'd run instead of funded, to 110 hours behind. And that's where we're at right now, 110.2 hours behind. I haven't actually changed the cost of priority yet. The goal was to reduce the cost of priority because we were so far ahead, right? But now we're behind, and so that's not happening at the moment. We'll see. We'll see. But either way, I'm going to feel a whole lot better when that queue is a whole lot smaller. And starting Tuesday, we're beginning the short block, so hopefully we're going to be able to start really smacking some games out. Because I'd like to get to a point in my life where I'm not streaming 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. That is kind of a private goal of mine. I know that's very selfish of me, but it is something I would kind of like to get to the point of. Alright, so, random news. There is the Video Game Awards this week. Nobody gives a damn because they're just like the Oscars, which nobody gives a damn about. But it is worth noting that what tends to happen at the Video Game Awards is people tend to do announcements. So what I'm expecting is to go ahead and pay attention to that, not because I give a damn about the awards, but because I give a damn about what they announce during it. Oscars amazing, but the Oscars are a little bit different. In fact, you should have Oscar sue the Oscars Shadow Machine, because they are infringing on his trademark, which is a great way to segue into the fact that Take-Two has currently been doing some very aggressive trademark movements on terms such as, for example, Rockstar. Now, I actually did my due diligence on this one because trademark and copyright law are stupid, but I do need to mention that even under normal circumstances, this is bad. So what I mean by that, is if you look at the site that keeps track of these kind of filings, normally there's a decent amount of traffic, right? So, you know, maybe 25-ish marks or filings done within a few years. That's pretty normal. Take-Two has filed about 23 filings in the last couple of months. So even by normal standards, this is ridiculous. They're also doing something that is very, very common, so this is funny. Well, the first thing I do is I play it again, Pika. So let me explain this a little bit. So let's say, I should have written it down. Hang on. I actually have the trademark filing page right here. Give me just a second, because that's where I get this kind of news. I'm a geek. What do you want from me? So we've got... Just gonna be over here, doing nothing. I'm just gonna kind of AFK for this fight. So we've got, let's see, Rockstar... that's Rockstar Social Club. Here we go, like, say... Is this a good one? Earth Sports Apparel? Nah, that's not it. Hang on a second. I've got to cross-reference a little bit here. Okay, here we go. So there's this website called Goddess Rockstar Arts. It's a woman who teaches yoga classes and healing. That's cool. She's being sued for trademark violation of Rockstar. Now, that sounds ridiculous, right? And that's because it is. But the way these things work is actually even worse than what you're thinking. So what tends to happen for these kind of filings is the person with the complaint, in this case Take-Two Games, usually puts a proviso in the filing. If you do this, we drop the matter, okay? That's extremely normal. That's almost always what happens, is they say, hey, we're going to go ahead, if you do this change, and it's usually a minor change, we're going to go ahead and drop the issue, no problem, right? So, almost all of these things, and I've seen their filings on this, like I said, I actually looked at the filing page. Almost all their filings has been saying, tell you what, if you go ahead and do this, if you do this one little change, we'll go ahead and let this one go. Now, This is insanity on various levels. I don't even know where to actually start with this. But yeah, the long and the short of it is they're saying, so tell you what, if you go ahead and change the font on this, or if you decide to make it so that you change the name on this, or maybe you make it so that this is slightly different, maybe we'll go ahead and let this one go. For example, the specific thing is they are going after this goddess store for the art design, which is funny because I'm looking at her logo right now and it looks nothing like the Rockstar logo, but whatever. So if you change that logo, if you change the quote-unquote standard character mark, which is what that's called, we'll go ahead and drop this. Some of the requests they've made are absolutely ludicrous. Some of them are not. The really screwed up thing is that this is actually pretty normal overall. This is the kind of thing that most trademark filers would do. It is more than usual, like I said, but it's still fairly normal because trademark law is extremely stupid and extremely broken. So what I'm trying to say is that everyone's to blame here. That's really just the synopsis I want you to walk away from this conversation with. So anyways, that sucks. And I have no idea, Micronomon. I didn't see Nickelback there, but then again, I don't know who owns Nickelback, and that would be who they'd be suing. So, no idea. But yeah, the problem here is, let's say that Goddess Rockstar Arts decides to fight this. Well, that means they get to go into a legal battle with a major multinational corporation who has time and money. And yet, what Hazardous says is the problem. So, for those of you not aware, trademark law has to be defended, but the stupid thing here is that the way trademark law is supposed to work, and even sometimes actually does work this way, we'll give it to the newbie, we'll give it to the Reaper. There you go, enjoy. The way that this could still work this way is you have to say, well, this is the demonstrable material impact. Material impact refers to it's actually affecting the income you take, and that has to be a substantial percentage of income, so it has to be a noticeable loss. Now, if you don't understand what that means, let me put it to you this way. Remember when we were talking about the Actiblizzard thing, and how one of the things that they were in hot water for was not disclosing to the shareholders that the investigation was ongoing? The defense against that was that if they had to spend millions of dollars in that investigation, that was not material, because it's just not that big of a cost to the company as a whole. Hi, Maverick. So, you want an insta-Q, Maverick? So, in other words, it's the problem here is that there's no way in hell that even on the absolutely insane unlikelihood that somehow this yoga instructor has cost Rockstar Games millions, it's still not material. So they still are stupid and dumb in every way, shape, and form. We'll do trials. Oh wow, not an instantaneous queue. So the long and the short of it is Rockstar needs to go to hell, and Take-Two continues to be one of the scummiest companies out there. It's actually funny, because we've got Take-Two, Actiblizzard, and Ubisoft. They're all scum, but they're all different varieties of scum. It's really funny and horrible. But... oh my god, that's true, Valerian! It's true. Hypothetically, yes, Hazardous. They would have to have a lawyer who knows about that case and can do their due diligence in looking it up, but absolutely yes, that is correct. So, Mortal says, if the basis is so shaky, it shouldn't be hard to win the case. You are absolutely right in Fantasyland. I'm sorry, that sounds mean, but what I mean by that is, let's say for a moment that it doesn't cost you time or money to go through legal proceedings against a major multinational conglomerate, okay? So then, yeah, what'd you do? You fight it, because of course you fight it. What else are you going to do? And then you win, because it's such an easy freaking case, right? The problem is, in order for that to happen, you have to counterfile, which you have to figure out how to do, by the way. You have to get a lawyer, and then you have to pay that lawyer a substantial amount of money for a substantial amount of time to do a case that's probably going to take months, if not in the years range, in order to slowly go through the ponderous, overclogged legal system in order to finally win the case, which you should have won on day one. Now, if you're willing to spend that huge amount of yourself, your time, your money, and your effort into winning, then yes, you will probably win that case. But do you see the problem? This is one of the biggest reasons why the "if you change this, we'll drop it" thing is part of these trademark filings. Because, there you go. It's done. It takes you 5 seconds, and you're done, and it's over. Is he... Okay, fine, I'll tank. I'll tank, I don't mind. I agree with Dream Whisperer. To be perfectly blunt, not to get too polemic, but I really do feel like we need another layer of legality before the existing layer. And I know that sounds terrible, because Lord knows we have enough bureaucracy as it is. But it would be nice to have a layer of bureaucracy whose entire purpose is to say, is this a ridiculous filing? Because the problem is, even a ridiculous filing under the... This is just in the States. But even a ridiculous filing takes the time and effort and work in order to go through the ponderously slow process to finally get to the point where you finally get to the point where you're actually at... to finally get to the point where you're finally in front of the judge and you're finally getting a ruling and and the judge is like, well, this is stupid and I'm throwing this out outright. What's really funny is sometimes, this does not happen often, but sometimes something like that does happen. Spurious lawsuits are a very real problem, and there are judges who will look at a lawsuit and see that it's a spurious lawsuit and say, this is stupid, and just dismiss or dismiss with prejudice. That does happen. That does happen every single day. To use a direct and specific example of something that is absolutely unquestionably a spurious lawsuit, look at the lawsuit that Sterling dealt with recently. James Stephanie Sterling, I think is the full name. I just want to make sure I'm getting that right. That was 100% no really, a spurious lawsuit. And didn't even go to an actual case. Still took months, by the way. Still took months to go through, because that's the system. But it never actually got to an actual case. There was never a jury trial. There was never a judge trial. It never got that far. And that's what I'm talking about. Those kind of things are thrown out. But even that still takes months and time and effort, and still had to pay for a lawyer in order to get to that step. So even in the best possible scenario, some people just say, screw it, accept the demands, and walk away from it. That is true, Lord Harriman. That is a valid point. I'm just going to do this really quick. There we go. And we're going to pop this button for no reason, because we're about to start taking a lot of damage. We're going to throw that button up too. Actually, we're going to go throw that one up too. But yes, the problem there, the reason why that's... Okay, so Lord Harriman, you are correct, but all you're doing is making my point for me. That was the best possible case scenario. He's dying too quickly. And that was as good as it could possibly get. And even that scenario is exceptionally unlikely to happen. Because a large-scale corporation... This really hurts! Oh, jeez, I'm dead. Because even a large-scale corporation... let's say that a large-scale corporation had been suing Sterling, right? What would have happened then is that we would have gotten to that step where the judge says, this is spurious, I'm dropping this nonsense. And then the lawyer for the big, scary corporation would say, well, hang on, I need to make my money for this week, so... you know, under the proviso of such and whatcha-fig, I argue that we totally should actually get case law, and we totally should get a trial for this, and we should waste more people's time in order to do this. And that's what would have probably happened, and so it would have dragged on even longer than it already was, and we would have all died because people killed the Mogs in the wrong area, or order. Thank you, Eclectic, very much. Always appreciate very much. Where is my funding list? Here we go. So we got Eclectic. But we got Eclectic. Wait, you only put it towards 2 things. Oh, never mind. Those are 3 things. Are those already on the list? The Overlords? And yeah, then there's appeals, and then there's just all sorts of other nonsense, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just go ahead and pull. That's cool with everybody. The problem here is this is one of those situations which doesn't really have a good answer or solution to it. Because many systems in the legal system exist for good reason. It's just, you know, there are a grand total of 3, technically 4, if you want to stretch it. Once you get to the Ninth Circuit, which is the final layer, you can appeal one last time to the Supreme Court in D.C. But that's it. If you manage to get past the appeal circuit, if you manage to get past the Ninth Circuit, if you manage to get to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court tells you to piss off, that's as far as it goes. There is no appealing past that point. It's worth noting that some lawmakers have actually been debating whether or not we should push it even further, whether we should allow people to appeal past the Supreme Court. Those usually get shut down, and I'm actually in favor of that. I do think enough is enough is something that should exist as a concept. And if you've gotten to that point, then that's not exactly your second chance. That's more like your 15th chance, you know? I mean, that's an exaggeration, but come on. Give me a break, right? We don't need the Supreme Appeals Court to be created in order to... Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm getting way off topic. Moving on. Moving on. So, what I'm trying to say is that it's all the lawyer's fault. Actually, it kind of is. I've heard this from lawyers several times, too. The problem is, most lawyers want to keep the case going because they are financially motivated to do so. They make more money the longer the case goes on, right? That's just how that works. And that's problematic. I mean, anytime you assign... Let's go ahead and grab everything here. Anytime you assign financial motivation to something, we've got that asterisk of, well, hang on a second. But no, there are several cases, especially in corporate law specifically, where lawyers have dragged things out because that way they could keep the case going and make more money and yada, yada, yada. Shrug. I give in. I stop giving in. Jesus, people. Let's go and pop that, and that, and that, apparently. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. The Supreme 9000 Court. What's it do? Well... Okay, let's get to the wall. Let's get to the wall. This Moogle really wants me to die, let me tell you what. Really don't want to pop Living Dead, but that's the only cooldown I got left at this point. Friggin' Dark Knights, am I right? Anyways, yeah, greed is, as usual, the problem, and there's not really a solution for greed. So... Don't make me do it! Oh no, I'm not joking, Emperor Valerian. I am... That's the problem here. Just keep me up for a few more seconds. There we go. Okay. That's true, Trathan. That's true. I had another random topic. So how many of you like Chrono Cross? Sorry, I actually got distracted by the fight I'm in. Usually trials are one and done. That's why I did it. I didn't expect to have to pay attention. Jesus, what kind of game is this? Here, you... no, you get a healer commendation for keeping me alive through that nonsense. So there's been rumors and whispers zooming around that there's going to be... Is that a kitty cat? That there is going to be a Chrono Cross port, or remaster, or remake. I got 2 comps for that. Some evidence for that. There's a mobile game that I've never even heard of, which is getting a Chrono Cross crossover. Chrono Cross crossover. That's why I stuttered on that for so long. Whether or not that means anything, who knows? It's some stupid mobile game, nobody cares, blah, blah, blah. But the fact that they're doing updated assets and updated audio for Chrono Cross means that work is being done which could also be used equally to do a Chrono Cross port or remaster, so who knows? We'll see, but I just thought I'd mention it for anybody who cares. It'll be interesting. Oh, hey. If anybody manages to grab that one. I'm going to go ahead and pop into here. Speaking of the government, this is just legal week. That's what I should just call that now. Lore legal. Legal lore. So there's a current trying to make PR moves, legal effort going through right now. They're trying to make it certain types of scalper bots illegal. Now, that's... I mean, I'm kind of okay with it. This is being sponsored by Paul D. Tonko, who is the Democrat representative from New York. It is being sponsored by several other people in the Senate. Sorry, so that's a House representative. Sorry, let me be very clear about my terminology. Who has put it out, and the Senate is sponsoring as well. We've got, looks like... I don't actually know what NM stands for, because I'm terrible, but NM senator, and the New York senator, and the... Carol... I don't know what that one is either. What the hell are these states? God, I don't know my own states. Connecticut? It is Connecticut. So it looks like Connecticut, New Mexico, and New York are sponsoring this and trying to push this forwards. The long and the short of it is they're trying to go ahead and push out a thing that prohibits, and I quote, manipulative workarounds that allow bad actors to use bots to circumvent control measures designed to protect real customers, making it illegal to knowingly circumvent the security measures, access control systems, or other controls or measures on an internet website or online service to maintain the integrity of posting online purchasing orders or products for services, including toys, and will make it illegal to sell or offer or sell any product or service in this manner, and allow the Federal Trade Commission to treat abusive workarounds as prohibitive, unfair, or deceptive acts, which is important for legal reasons because that changes what you can charge against whom. Now, this is interesting for several reasons, but the most important one... Oh, hey, let's see what our attacks look like here. Let's do a victory pose. We apparently are super edgy, as we always are. Man, we really like this scythe. I mean, scythes are cool. I'm with scythes. Let's get to a battle stance. There we go. Oh, yeah. We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, no, scalpers can go to hell and should honestly be taken out back and shot, but yeah, enforcing is the problem. All that this really does, I am still in favor of this. Let me go ahead and mention that. I am still in favor of this because what this means is this brings this up as something that could be qualified as a criminal charge. So right now, let's say for a moment that somehow you were able to catch someone using a bot buying PS5s on Amazon, right? Let's just picture that for a second. What can you do about that person? Well, not a lot. I mean, especially if you've already sent out the... if you've already mailed it out. You could try to shut down their account. You could try to give them bad ratings on your site. You could notify the credit authority and tell them that they suck, but that's kind of it. There's not a lot of tools other than just basic civil tools to deal with that, right? And if you ban their account or ban their IP, there are easy workarounds for that. So what do you do? Well, if this goes through, this would make that a criminal offense, which means you could then bring criminal charges against the person who actually made the purchase. Make sense? Now, that's still problematic for several reasons, not the least of which being that, if you didn't hear me mention it earlier, the criminal system is, or excuse me, the legal system is already clogged to hell and back with cases that are taking too long because people want too much money. Whether that's a good move or not is certainly a debatable thing. How much potential... I mean... So, real talk, I'm not really good at figuring out loopholes in systems. It's actually a flaw of mine. I will freely admit to it. It's one of the reasons I tend to have other people playtest the rule sets I make up, because I tend to be like, oh, I didn't realize you could do that, holy crap. Like, random, complete off-topic tangent, I designed a crafting system for Primus, which one player then decided to abuse the hell out of. So I invented this massive, lengthy thing in order to prevent that from happening, which was just making it arduous and frustrating and unfun. years later, several of my players were like, why is this arduous and irritating and unfun? And I said, well, because of avoiding abuse. And the player, my sister actually, specifically said, Lord, you're the GM. Be the dictator. Just say, no, you can't do that. I was like, oh, yeah. So we ejected that and just used oversight. The problem is oversight really only works on a personal level. One individual can look at something and do oversight. One individual looking over thousands of cases, not so much. So, potential for abuse, probably. The real question is if this would actually be in any way something that the police departments would take seriously and the incredibly overcrowded jails would take seriously. I may be mortal, I don't know. I think I'm just an idiot, to be honest with you, but I think that anyways. What the hell do I know? I don't have like half my... Why do all the classes not have their abilities when we scale down? This is the second biggest flaw of this entire game. Anyway, sorry. Rant off. I love you, FF14, but where the hell are my abilities? Anyways, I just thought I'd mention it. We'll see if this goes anywhere. The biggest complaint I have about this game is that it is anti-co-op. Some of you may know that I play MMOs with my friends Pax and Gary, and I have since the 90s. Pax and Gary do not play FF14 and will never play it again because it is so aggressively anti-co-op. It's just really, really, really frustrating, and I don't blame them. To be 100% blunt, I'm only playing this game because it's my job. Don't take that as a thing that it's a bad game, but again, the game is just really... I don't think I even have that at this level of amateurs. Really, really, really against playing with friends, and I don't like playing MMOs solo. I never have. Anyways, oh, I got a purple. That one's already full. We'll go to this one. Ooh. Not that we need that mechanic, but, you know, whatever. That's strange. I mean, you're right, I do have the buff. I swear there's a HUD feature that's supposed to be popping up for that. Oh, well, whatever. Anyways, point being, everything sucks forever. I was going to listen to some music, but we've already sit here talking for an hour about exactly 4 bullet points. So, I think we're going to go ahead and skip over the FF5 stuff today, because I am in a little bit of a hurry. I still have the music queued and ready to go, so someday we'll actually listen to the last of the FF5 soundtrack. But for now, I think we're going to go ahead and get ready for our Streaminations. As a reminder, we'll be playing whatever we're playing. Oh, hang on, I do have one last note. Sorry, I do have one last note. Don't leave, no! And they're all gone. So, now that you're all gone, the queue has changed order. Essentially, the queue was in order of funding, which is fine, but there's better ways to do it, so we're doing it better. Do I seriously not even... Okay, whatever. Yeah. As a consequence, the queue order is a little bit different. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that, make sure everyone checks that, because I know not everyone checks the website, because why would you actually look at the website? The reason I mentioned that, though, is I know that some people are interested in a specific run, and want a specific run to happen either earlier or later because it aligns with their schedule. And for the most part, I'm pretty amiable to that. Anybody who knows me knows I have no real problem just saying, yeah, sure, no problem. We'll rearrange things. So what I'm asking, and this is for the VOD viewers as well, if anybody has any specific requests for wanting games to rearrange a little bit, please go ahead and mention that. Unfortunately, at this point, I think it's too late to move around Surviving Mars, so we were probably playing Surviving Mars next regardless. But everything else is relatively malleable. It is in an order, it's kind of categorized, but Tuesday we'll be starting Surviving Mars, and then we'll see after that. If anybody wants any changes, feel free to petition. Otherwise, that's it, I think. Let me actually double check my own website here really quick. Because I use my website to keep track of my own queue, as ever said. Yeah, we got Hat in Time, Control, Max Payne, Far Cry Nota. Yeah, this is what I call the random higher-end block. This is all the short block, but, you know, this is all games that are relatively more well-known. Games that are either AAA or AA. I have no idea about Wolfenstein. I watch them on Amazon, Lunaruth, but I have no idea otherwise. After that, after those, relatively bigger games, we're going to go down to, looks like the relatively lesser-known games, like Plague Tale Innocence, or Tex Murphy, or The Dig. A lot of games, I don't even remember what they are. Yes, I did, Plutonia. Push Fact Far Cry to Christmas? Sure. Let me think about that. So, starting that this week, and that'll be kind of this week. Surviving Mars might actually take most of the next week. I don't really have much of an ETA on that one. Primal should not be on this list, and that's because it isn't. Primal's still being funded, I'm pretty sure. Hang on. I keep getting asked different questions here. Primal. Did you know I have a website where you can check this out? No, Far Cry Primal is not on the list at all. Nobody's even put a single dollar towards Far Cry Primal. Right now. I'm going to do crappy DPS for a second here while I look this up. So, let me look at a calendar. So, let's assume this week is just Surviving Mars. Then we've got Control, which will probably be a couple of days. And then Max Payne, which will be like a couple of days. And then Far Cry, which will be a couple of days. And that'll put us here to Resident Evil. And then Borderlands. And then Spec Ops. So what I should probably do is move Far Cry down a little bit. When's your vacation start? Help me out here. Also, random observation. Anytime I look at fashion in this game, I'm reminded of how outfits just look... There's just more fashion choices for females than there are for males. It's really frustrating. I want to look cool too, damn it. This is one of the best outfits I found in the entire game right here, the one I'm wearing. Bloodline? VTM B2 isn't even out yet, Trihexia. That's 24th. Okay, so why don't I... Let me think about this. So if we shuffle this... So we'll do that, and then Hat in Time right here. And then Control, and then Max Payne there. And then Resident Evil, Tales from the Borderlands. So let's just move Far Cry after Tales from the Borderlands. That should line up. I do tend to overestimate. Because, duh. Yeah, VTM B2 may never come out. Oh yeah, Bloodstained was moved down because I want the end of the short block to be the dessert at the end. So I moved all of the platformers to the end, for obvious reasons. Move that below Spec Ops. There we go. That's adjusted. Excuse me. The other reason to push Bloodstained down the list, by the way, is because hopefully the last DLC will be out by then. Because there's actually still a DLC I'm very much looking forward to. Can anyone guess what it is? If you don't know. I'm sure most of you actually know. Whoops, I should probably hit this button first. Well, I'm gonna just kind of... How do you mute someone in FF14? No, it's not. Dream Whisperer. VTMB1 was after the Oblivion line. That was this year. Add to blacklist. I probably can't because they're on a different server. Oh, that sucks. Would you... Oh, for God's sakes. Fine, I'm gonna stop trying. AFK mode engaged. Yeah, they did mention another character, but I don't care that much about that. The co-op mode, that's the one I'm really waiting for. Oh, it's not going to change the review other than just adding a positive, but I'm really looking forwards to doing a co-op run of that game with my friend Pax, because hell yeah. Oh, right. So, that's a good point, Dream Whisperer. That is a good point. I'm just going to kill that command, I think. Archive was there because someone was using it for, the review page, and yeah, that's not great. So we'll just kind of nuke those two commands. Thank you for pointing that out. And I'll put Ciella's watch time, thank you for watching my show as always, Ciela, towards Empire of Sin. Okay, I think that's everything. I only heard one person wanted to rearrange. Again, even if you're watching the VOD, please let me know if you want to rearrange stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the streaminations. Today we are covering... God, it's actually been a week, because last week I was sick. So today we're covering... I don't know what. Season 8, Episode 19, On the Road to Friendship, and Season 8, Episode 20, The Washouts, whatever those are. So... I will see some of you in about half an hour, and I'll see the rest of you on Tuesday for Surviving Mars.